Star Ocean, the second story R. I'm Chase. That's Bobby. Hello, Bobby.
Hello.
We're here for another quick look with the Casual Hour. Star Ocean, the second story R. It's the sequel to Star Ocean, the First Departure R, which are both remakes to previous Star Ocean games. Bobby, what do you know about Star Ocean, the second story R, or what do you know about Star Ocean in general?
I don't know shit about it because I'm not a weeb like you, so we're going to keep it that way. And this game did come out on November 2nd. You can play this on a PlayStation 4 or 5, one of those antiquated Nintendo Switches, or one of those Windows professional personal computers.
Now, Bobby, you say you're not a weeb, but I have it on good authority. You've seen at least one anime. So.
I've seen a lot more than that, but one weeb I know doesn't classify them as anime, so you tell me.
Yeah, Star Wars Visions
is an anime.
Is technically anime in the most technically correct sort of way. This is an RPG. This is a JRPG. It's an action RPG.
It's a junior RPG is what you're telling me.
That's not what that means at all. It means
it's a junior playable
Japan.
game.
It's a Japanese RPG.
What are we playing this on today?
This is on the antiquated Nintendo Switch, as you
yes.
As you
like I didn't mention this is a $50 game, by the way.
$50.
$50.
Not too bad. So yeah, this is an action RPG, and I played the first Star Ocean and had a pretty solid time.
The remake or like the original one?
The remake.
Okay.
Remake. And that was my first time doing anything with Star Ocean, and then I was pretty excited for the sequel, especially for how it looks. It's a little tougher to see here in this dungeon we're in. This is kind of one of the early dungeons, but you've got this you've got this really nice sharp pixel art for the characters, and then the worlds are polygonal.
Was the other one that you played like this?
I'd have to go back and look. It was similar, but I don't think it quite had this pixel art over polygon, or at least not to this degree.
And these came out like 20 years ago, right?
I believe these were PlayStation 1 games originally. Yeah, I think
right
that's
on.
Right. Let's get into a battle. Let's see what happens.
Yeah, I'm very curious about this because like the images make it look like a turn-based game, but you say it's not.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, this is action, baby. Now, I've got this on a pretty low difficulty, not the lowest, but I just kind of want to have some fun.
You're here for the story.
In a little bit, yeah. So in battle, when you get into battles, I'll try to not kill this one as quite as quickly. So you can just run around freely. Your other two characters, they will work on their own. I can also hit the Y button and say, hey, here, do some different tactics. Focus your attacks on a single enemy or spread out to everybody.
You don't have control over them.
Not direct control, but I can switch. Oops, hang on. You can switch, so I can switch over to Reyna here, and now I can do stuff with Reyna. Except that Claude is a killer because I've made him a killer. So even in the
these are fast battles.
Yeah, these are pretty fast battles. Again, I have it on a relatively low difficulty, but they are still pretty quick battles. Regardless, I've only had a couple that have lasted longer than like 20 seconds.
Is it weird that I think it's weird that this isn't a turn-based game?
I mean, it's Star Ocean is an action RPG, but it's in kind of a JRPG style genre, so I get that you think that it would be turn-based. So I'm here at the end of this dungeon. I am a little further than this in the actual game, so I kind of know what's going to happen. So we're going to save this treasure chest for a second.
How far into this are you?
Only a handful of hours, like maybe 3 or 4.
So pretty early in. I would imagine we might see some slight spoiler stuff.
Maybe, yeah, kinda, a little bit, I guess. Why don't we do this battle here? This is going to be a battle. There's nothing in here. Some gargoyles are going to fight us.
Oh, spooky.
Yeah. So you have your regular attacks, which you can just keep hitting the A button for. You have a dodge that you can hit the B button and kind of do like a backdash. And then you have two other kind of special skills. So like on the right stick or on the right bumper and left bumper.
Oh, cool.
You can do some kind of attacks like that. When an enemy's broken like that, it's usually because somebody's casted a magic spell or a skill or something that has taken down their shields to a point, and when they're broken, they get a little dizzy, and all your attacks are critical hits, which can be useful.
And there was 2 bars next to your characters when you're fighting. I'm assuming that's HP and mana?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. HP and MP. Skills require MP to cast, as do magic spells. So even though Claude is my main character here, even though he doesn't cast any spells, his skills still take up that meter. So there's still reasons to have that.
And I'm seeing
here's a nice quality of life thing. Whenever you just get a better piece of equipment, it goes, "Hey, do you want to upgrade the piece of equipment that you're wearing?"
Oh, cool.
I'm like, yeah, just do that, easy,
and
no problem.
Are there jobs or classes or anything per character?
Not yes and no.
Okay.
We'll get into that. There's also voice acting and these nice not animated cutscenes exactly, but
This is it?
Yeah, there's some nice talking heads there.
you get a little something there. Yeah.
What is that thing?
So Reyna there, she's the daughter of some people in this kind of fantasy area. And she's kind of yearning for adventure and trying to find something. There's this big meteor that crashed down on the planet, and it's really fucked everything up. They call it the sorcery globe.
Yeah, dinosaurs
because
aren't
they don't
here.
know what a meteorite is. So we're kind of trying to figure out what happened and why everything's gone loopy now that this thing's here.
Sure.
Claude, he's from it's not necessarily the future. It's like a completely different world.
This
He's
is a
from
metaverse.
space. It's an isekai, I think is what you
Oh, yes.
So this is also another thing. I guess we'll say this real quick. This is another thing that I just recently unlocked. So you get these characters that are part of your assault. Yeah, here you go. Assault actions. So these are kind of like bonus summons that you can do
cool.
once you fulfill their actions in battle. So this summon that I just got, I believe, is a heal, but it's also based on a character from Star Ocean 6, a game I have not played, so I don't know who this person is, but it's kind of cool that they threw in some extra bonus stuff in here too. You also have characters who just do special skills during assault actions.
Like Mortal
but then
Kombat.
you also have these kind of... I mean, kind of, I guess. It's like, hey, I have this big thing that I can do, but then also here are some other characters that I can summon in very quickly to just attack with me for a bit, and then
That's really cool.
and then get out. Yeah, and you can set that. Oh god, there's so many menus. I'm not going to go through all these menus, but this is a very dense game.
Yeah,
you can go
yeah.
into tactics. You can go into assault formation, and you go, hey, yeah, Letitia there is my on my D-pad down. Once I have that power unlocked in a battle, I can just summon her, and she can fight. There's also you can tell them, hey, why don't you not use magic spells right now, because I want you to save it for a boss fight or something. Or just focus on healing. She's a good healer, so we're going to have her do that. There are formations that give you some general bonuses there. So you see my attack and defense are up 25%. But then I can also go to this square shift. So this is just basically how your characters start out in combat. But they do give you some extra bonuses. You'll learn more formations as the game continues. I think there might be 10, I believe. So those can give you some different bonuses. You'll get different party members. So far, I only have 2, and then this guest character is Celine. But once I get to the end of this dungeon, I'm going to have a choice of whether to keep her in the party or not. So let me grab this last chest.
Wait, they let you
and let's
pick
go
if you
back
want to
the
keep them?
front. Yeah, I don't know if it's like what actually changes. I mean, obviously you get the character, you don't, but I don't know if picking her on your team means that you're getting locked out of something else later down the line. I chose to keep her in the party when I first did this. So let's just run back. We will have to fight a couple things because they're just in the way.
We better be careful.
So I guess it's just you're getting those perks and bonuses. Let me ask a couple questions on this. So you're basically lining up your characters in a formation that's giving you a boost, but you immediately break formation when battle starts.
Yeah. It's not there for the strategic purpose is only at the very beginning.
It's just really basically happens. Like, hey, if you do things this way, you're going to get a little bonus from it. Okay.
Yeah. And those bonuses, so that the see in the bottom right corner where that gold stuff is filling in, as I continue to do battles and gain more of those orbs just from finishing more battles, those bonuses continue to stack. So that first one is the attack 25%, and then if I do more battles, then I get the defense 25%. But that's a chain that I get as I'm fighting these battles that continues battle to battle, so I can kind of stack things up. There are ways to lose that gauge. So if an enemy gets the jump on me, I completely lose that gauge and have to start over from scratch.
Got it. And then I noticed also that the overworld stuff, it doesn't feel like you got stuff jumping out at you. Like you can see where enemies are at from what I'm picking up here.
Right. No random battles, but you will have enemies that kind of pop out every once in a while. I think this is a back attack. I think I made that work. Nope, regular attack. I'm going to try to get a back attack on me so you can see that I lose that meter.
Oh, okay.
We're about at the end of the dungeon anyway. Well, we had to get back to the front of the dungeon rather, because I want to just see what happens if I tell her no. We don't want you here.
And is it mostly dungeons, or is there like overworld stuff that you find yourself in?
No, I would say there's much more overworld than dungeons so far.
Okay.
I just wanted to show off this part because I thought it was neat.
You two have been a lot of help to me, so let me thank you both.
We were in this dungeon because she had a treasure map and thought there was something special here.
Okay.
We found some ancient text that we can't read, but that's what the thing was.
Have you found the voice acting to be good?
It's fine. Yeah. Some people are better than others, but it's solid.
Say, would you like
Claude?
Claude.
Well, I just thought that your symbol.
She kind of when you first talk to her, she kind of seduces you into doing this mission for her or with her. Because she's like a big booby sorcery lady. And Raina's kind of not cool with it because Raina's got maybe a little bit of a crush on Claude. But now we get the choice. You know what? Nah, shove it, Celine.
Now that I think about it, I think we'll be better off by ourselves.
Ooh.
Well, that's a shame.
So I wonder if that just leaves her as a option to pick her up another time, or if that just completely locks her out.
Goodbye.
Yeah, that would be. That's interesting.
Well, it's probably for the best.
Yeah. Especially at a time this early in the game where having a third party member kind of makes a big difference.
I'm glad she thanked us, but it's too bad we couldn't get more out of this.
And is this the only time that you've come across another character you can have so far?
I didn't even notice that.
You started out with just Claude. Claude, by the way, from space. I probably should. I said that before, but he's on like a spaceship with his big admiral father, and he kind of gets sucked into some weird portal, and then ends up in this fantasy world where they've never heard of Earth before, and they don't know anything about anything. So he's got like a stun gun, and they call it like a. He's like a warrior of light kind of thing because he's got like this light sword.
It's not. I mean, obviously, there's science fiction as you're calling out, but the folks that you're encountering are going to be more medieval. It looks like maybe.
Yeah, like right now, I'm in a fantasy world, so everything's about fantasy. I believe later in the game, some stuff's going to happen where the sci-fi really starts to pick up and combine. In the very first game. That game starts out with some sci-fi stuff and then puts you into the fantasy world, and that's just it. The rest of the game is basically all fantasy stuff, and it was a real weird thing to like. Why'd you even do this in the first place? Why'd you put the Star Trek-y shit in here if you were just going to abandon it immediately? And this game seems like it's going to be a little bit better about it. Okay, now that I'm out in the overworld, let me try one more thing here.
There's a lot of enemies.
There are a lot of enemies, and if you get one pissed off and get them closer to other enemies, they can chain like that, and now you can fight a number of waves of battles, depending on how many enemies you get there. Yeah, I know how to pause. So now you can do these battles, and you have them have these waves, and they'll stack up the bonuses you get. So you see in the top left there, it says experience and full.
Yes.
Full's the money here. So I'm getting 1.5 times the amount of experience and money by stacking up these guys, which I think is a really cool way to make grinding better and more
just kind of kite those together.
more rewarding. Yeah.
Now, are you just OP or good at this, or is the game just easy?
I think right now it's just easy, and part of it is that I've put the difficulty relatively low. Because I am basically just smashing A. I have not really used any skills with Claude.
Is there blocking, parrying, stuff like that you got to worry about?
So there is a backdash that I can do. Enemies have parried me sometimes, and then there are also a ton of skills and things. So I can go in here and go to like my combat skills. And I've put a bunch of my battle points that you get every time you level up and every time you finish a battle. I've put a lot of them into sidestep, so I can just randomly evade enemy attacks. You might have seen in some of the fights that I've done where my character just kind of teleports immediately to
like that kind of like
an enemy.
Blue Johnny Cage looking dash.
Totally, and that's this Godspeed ability that I've added on. Power Burst just gives me a boost of attack power. There's another one here that I like, Backstab, which just can teleport me right behind an enemy as well.
Are those just like map to face buttons?
No, these are just passives. They just randomly proc as you go by adding more in. So like I can add more into sidestep, and that means the effect can happen more often. And Reyna's got her own. So like I have her doing hastened speech because she's a magic caster, so this reduces her casting time.
Totally.
So she can just do her stuff.
Can you do me a favor and go into your equipment really quick? I just want to take a look at like what your loadouts and stuff look like here. So weapons, armor, shield, kind of standard fare. Anything?
Yep, you do get 2 accessory slots, which is kind of cool, and the accessories can do a lot of different things. So this one does have, it's giving me plus 10 avoid and plus 5 guts, but also it has this factor there on the bottom where I get this stacking bonus to my attack, defense, hit, avoid, and intelligence with every successive battle, which is
very cool,
kind of nice. There are also... So there are special skills that I showed you a couple of those, and you can upgrade those with those same battle points and make them stronger. Having her as a healer, let's make her cure light better. So now she's that increases the healing she gets out of that. And then the game also, and the first game had this too, and I didn't really engage with it too much, and early on here, I don't know how much you really need to engage with it either. But there are these talents and specialties that you can get for your different characters, which go on a different currency, SP, and I believe that's skill points, rather than the battle points that I was getting. And so I can put these points into these kinds of skills, like Knife, which can upgrade my attack a little bit, but it also has a specialty connected to it, which is cooking. Or I could go in and I could just upgrade cooking.
And these aren't jobs. These are just like things you're putting stuff into.
Right. Yeah, these are just extra points that you can put into these kind of talents, and these talents can affect other things. So like I'll upgrade cooking here, which means it's upgrading all 3 of those relevant skills there, Knife, Recipe, and Keen Eye. So I still get the attack bonus, but now I'm going to upgrade cooking to level 5. So now I could go into... what can I go into here? There we go. Now I can go to cooking, and Claude can now take these eggs and dairy, and he can cook them into
an omelet.
What I make?
It looks like
what is
ice
that?
cream.
Yogurt. I made yogurt. So that's one of the things, like you see there on the right. There's a list of different things, and at different levels of cooking, you can make even other different kinds of things. He also has customization, or she has customization, which means if I got her high enough, I could upgrade these brass knuckles to do something else. There's a lot of stuff.
There's a lot of stuff, but like I don't want to like diminish it when I say this, but it's pretty standard fare for a game like this.
A little bit. It is dense, especially for only having about 4 hours into it. Let me go into my later save where I do have Celine, and I can show off a little bit of other stuff here as well.
Because then I'm assuming that like you can find vendors or blacksmiths or something. You're probably getting loot for kills, right?
So you can buy new weapons and armor, but I am finding that once you get those skills up relatively highly, you're kind of able to take what they sell you and make them even better. So if I were to do customization on this long sword, which is kind of a starting sword, and I could put a ruby into it, and I can have him customize this, and his customize ability is good enough that I can turn this into a flame sword. Oh, that's cool. So
there's some elemental stuff now.
Yeah. I already have a flame sword that I put on him. But then, Reyna has this writing ability that I've given her. So she can write this book. And then this is actually a skill book that can upgrade somebody else's skill if they use it.
Ah.
So now I can make my mental science level +1, whoever I give that to.
And you can just keep making those if you really wanted to.
You could, yeah. She's got 100% success rate to write this kind of a book.
Okay.
But then if I went down to like Life and Nature, it's a 50% success rate. But that's something that as she gets better, this is a 1%. But as she gets better at writing, she'll have a easier time making these other books that could be more helpful.
Is there? Let me see here. Go to database for me really quick. Is there like enemy? Yeah, can you go to the enemy one? I just want to take a look at like some of the stuff you've came across so far. Like, is there any bosses or anything that you've encountered?
I fought one kind of boss. I don't know if he's going to show up here. It was like a demon that was taking over a different guy.
Oh, good.
So I don't think it's going to show up here. What's a Gark? That's what a Gark looks like. I'm sure you wanted to know. Oh, that says boss. Okay. Yeah, I thought of a Gark. Let's get in. Oh yeah, okay, yeah, flame sword. Let's do
some glowing over there.
What else? Oh, this is just a safe.
No, it was over by the girl. It was like right there glowing.
Oh, over here.
Yeah.
These are just kind of investigation places where you can see some stuff. So it's going to tell me a little lore thing and then give me some bonus experience.
Cool. Yeah. Unique spot.
So also, when you get into towns, this is something that the other Star Ocean games started as well. This is private action mode. So you can send your party members away in this town and walk around alone, but then you can find them in town and some special stuff happens. So we'll get to see this kind of
that's fun.
Side story-ish stuff and see what she's doing, and maybe up our friendship with Reyna, which gives us some extra bonuses as well. I'll say the story so far is pretty standard. Pretty standard stuff. Not everything is voice acted. There's a lot of voice acting in here, though.
Sure.
And I think it just looks and sounds.
Yeah, I think the look of this is. I know I was a little cheeky on our podcast when we did the preview. I was like, "Oh, another HD 2D game," and you're like, "This was a little bit different." And I think you even said that like it might be one of the better looking ones that you've came across. And we watched some video on the show, and Johnny, our other co-host, was talking about it was incredibly striking and seen it in motion. I totally pick up on what you're saying. It's not like the other games that maybe you've seen so far from Square, whether they've been a brand new entry or a remake. This looks really good.
Yeah, and this isn't to say I think Octopath Traveler looks bad or something, right. But it does have a different look than something like Octopath or Triangle Strategy.
Yeah.
Like it's not quite that HD 2D look. It's just really nice looking sprites on this.
I wonder if that new Dragon Quest will look like this.
I think that's closer to the HD 2D
look,
but that game does look rad. I'm pretty excited for that. Let's go out and do maybe a couple more battles.
Yeah.
And then call it a day here.
Do you have any idea of how long this game is?
I think it's like in a 30-40 hour experience.
It doesn't seem terrible for a game like this. Yeah, 39.5.
Not too bad. So I do have one of the talents I put on Claude is so I've got a train ability that I gave him. So now I can lower my own stats.
Oh, cool.
To get more experience out of battle. So it's again like another just kind of way to grind some experience, and I've kept that on since I've had it. I also gave him scouting, which means kind of like similar to Bravely Default, where that game had a kind of meter you could go into and go, I want more enemy and random enemy encounters, or I want 0 enemy encounters so I can walk back to this town and heal up. This is tied to a skill, but you can kind of do it. So there's a lower success rate for it at the moment, but I can say, hey, I don't want to deal with enemies right now, so maybe just send less around me.
Oh.
And now less are going to show up on screen. I mean, there will still be a couple probably, but less often and less aggressive. Or I can say, you know what? Actually, I'm here to battle. Give me more.
Give me more, baby.
And so now these guys should be popping up at a higher rate. Yeah, there they go.
What's the
green ones?
Yeah.
The green ones are easy enemies that I've kind of out-leveled at this point. Red are enemies that are probably too hard for me, and then purple are supposed to be right in my wheelhouse. So this is going to be a long one, because I think there's five chain battles, so I'll get a bunch of stuff here. But these are all still pretty easy enemies at this point.
All right.
But I can use...
I'm digging what I'm seeing here.
Yeah, it's comfortable. It's nice. Here, I'll also use one of these assault actions now that I've got it, so we can bring in.
Oh
her.
yeah.
She does like a heal on the field as I'm fighting. Uh-oh, I died.
Oh shit.
I don't know how I died.
Shit.
I wasn't paying attention. Okay. Game over. There you go with an upside down A.
Is there a significance to that?
I don't know. One of the nice things, though, when you are on this difficulty, you can just retry battles, and it puts you... you are able to change out equipment if you think, oh, hey, I was just using the wrong kind of sword or something. I'll tell you, this would have been real nice in Star Ocean First Departure R, because the very final boss, I had these awesome swords, and they just cut through everything, except the boss was absorbing the damage from them and healing every time I hit him with these swords. And it made the final boss fight really suck, because I didn't have any other good weapons for this guy other than these 2 swords. And this game goes, hey, we'll give you the opportunity to, switch out your stuff and improve your skills or do whatever before you get into battle. And now you can go back right into the battle. So we'll... let's see if we can fight this any better than we did before. Let's just say I did that on purpose. I don't know what enemies there were that were.
Yeah, they like wiped everybody.
Oh, I think it was these magician things. So I think I just got hit with the fireballs or something when I wasn't supposed to. I don't know.
And you're at max down there in that building now too, which is nice.
Yep. I should let something do the backstab on me to lose that, but at this point, this is my actual latest save, so I probably want to just keep this.
Yeah, totally.
But I really am just hammering on the A button here. I use the skill right there just to kind of show it off, but these are not difficult battles, despite that one weird fluky one. That's a ton of experience.
That's great,
generally.
man.
Yeah, that's just level ups for people. And you see Claude there is getting that bonus. That's from that train. So his skills are lowered, but he's getting more experience out of every battle than what my regular party members are. And also, this game has one of the best features that RPGs can do. When you level up, you get full health and full magic points restored. The games that don't do that, I'm even looking at you, Pokemon. When you level up something, you should always go back to full health.
I agree.
That is my thought.
It's not too much to ask in this day and age, in this economy.
It's just a nice quality of life thing. This game has a lot of quality of life things from what I hear. Again, not having played the original, it just kind of, this is the first time I'm experiencing any of this, but it does seem like it's a pretty comfortable experience.
Yeah, this has been nice.
Yeah. So, Bobby, this is Star Ocean Second Story, the Second Story R. I'm having a great time with it. You can also, you do get a choice of who your main character is. So you could choose between Claude and Reyna at the beginning of the game. And I don't know how that changes things, because when I played as Claude, you know, he's up in space, and Reyna's this weird elf girl from the fantasy world. So I think what I've read, it doesn't drastically change the beginning of the game. I think it's just kind of when, if you pick Reyna, it's kind of when he gets isekai'd into this world and they meet. Whereas if you pick Claude, you get to see that beginning part, and you get to see some of the space stuff early on.
Sure.
But I think once they've met, it really kind of doesn't matter.
Nice.
But yeah, that's the game so far. I like it. I like turn-based RPGs a lot. They are certainly the kinds of games I prefer. But I do like the action RPG nature of this. I like putting points into all these different passive skills that show up. I like when one just procs and I immediately teleport behind a dude and get a bunch of critical hits on him. It's just it's a cool kind of game. I'm enjoying.
Hey man, that's awesome. I think that's really cool.
Yeah.
Well, Chase, I appreciate you taking time to show me this one. I know that we've talked a lot about it on the shows I've mentioned. We're live Monday, Wednesday, Friday on Twitch, YouTube, and Kick, where you can find us doing various video game activities, including a podcast, which we record Wednesdays at 9 p.m. Central. You can find that podcast every Friday morning wherever you listen to podcasts. And if you're into watching gameplay, Mondays and Fridays are your jam. We'll be doing those 9 p.m. Central as well. Chase and I take Mondays, Johnny and I take Fridays, but we sometimes mix that equation up depending on who's available during the week. So if you're into what we have to say about games, well, YouTube is probably your safest bet these days, because we put all of our quick looks here. Now we're doing our live streams here. So I would say YouTube is a really sound spot, but you can find us the Casual Hour wherever you do your social networking as well for all of our scheduling and updates that we'll be putting out. But we have a ton of fun. And Chase, I'm very happy to have seen this more in action, because I've been curious about it, and this is one that I've got on my wish list now, and we'll be probably keeping an eye on for a sale. I know that there's a big RPG that hits early next year that, depending on how things go for the rest of the 2023, I might sneak this one in somewhere.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, Square Enix RPGs go on sale a pretty decent amount, so I think it's fine to wait on this one. I will say, here's one more quality of life thing that's really, really nice. See in the bottom right corner that orange exclamation mark?
Yes.
That's just what your next main story objective is every time, and it's always up there no matter where you are. I don't think that's in the original game, but it's just so nice to just be exploring the world and doing whatever, knowing, hey, I know where I'm supposed to go next, so it's totally fine if I go into this house or I go into that cave, because I always know where I'm supposed to go. Which a lot of old school RPGs don't have that, and you come back to it after you put it down for a week, and then you come back to it and go, I have no fucking
100%
idea what I was doing.
100%.
And this game goes like, hey, it doesn't matter if you know or not. You can go in here and you can check your missions, I guess, and see what you've got going on. But also we'll just tell you in the bottom right hand corner where you need to go. This is Star Ocean. It's great. Thank you for joining me, Bobby. I'm glad you got to see it. I'm glad you're a little bit more excited about it.
Yeah,
now.
for sure.
And I'm gonna keep on playing this and get through it, and I'll let you know how it ends, or I'll let you know how I feel about it.
I'm excited to hear more about it.
Sweet. All right. Well, thanks, guys.
Thanks.
We'll catch you later.